Hey everybody, Alex Employer here from Expert Forex, and in today's video we're going to be looking at Link12, which is one of the 80 accounts you can link your account to in our linking service. And if you haven't done so already, I urge you to do the 14-day trial so that you can experience this linking service, this copying service, and can assess whether it will add value to your Forex trading. Now, one of the reasons why I've chosen Link12 is because it traded the Aussie yen that you can see on your screen. That is the daily chart over the period that this account traded the profit retriever. And as you can see, the market threw everything at this account. It experienced big trends that didn't retrace, that it experienced sideways markets, and then it had a slow downward trend. And then here is a big one. This was a 500 pip daily candle. A 500 pip daily candle. Can you imagine that? And Link12 just traded through that with no problems. And then, as you can see, huge up and down movements, huge up and down waves. Recently a strong downward trend again, and then a bit of sideways at the end. So this account has really proven itself by being able to trade through the most inconsistent market conditions. So let's have a look at Link12. So we're on our Link to Success web page. Here it is, and this is where you can link your account to that of a successful robot trader. And all you have to do, it's a set and forget operation. You just link to that account and enjoy the trades that that trader generates, or that robot generates. And here's a list of our top robots that are on offer. And if you want to see the other 60 ones, you just click on more linkable accounts. Those accounts are also positive, but they don't comply with all the criteria that we want to see in one single account. Now at the top here is a Link12, and that is the one we're going to be looking at. I'm just going to go through the information on Link12. So Link12 says there are lots of people following Link12, lots of live accounts following Link12. It is over 6 months old, so it's a nice old established account. As we've seen, it's traded through some rough terrain to get to today. The overall gain is 281%. So that is very close to doubling the account 3 times. Fantastic results. Now the starting capital, as you can see with most of the accounts, is $10,000, but don't let that scare you, because in the previous video, and I'll just flash that on the screen, I explained how you can use $100 to create an account of $10,000. So that means you can actually trade any of these accounts with $100 using cent accounts. So don't let that scare you. So the recent equity on this account was 38,100. The success rate was 67%. And if we look down this row here, you'll see that that is quite consistent with a lot of the profit retriever traded accounts. It has traded the profit retriever. There are some other accounts here that are quite good, the ADX, and those are the robots that are being traded, and it requires leverage of 200 to 1. You could most probably get away with 100 to 1, but 200 to 1 is preferable. The sender is using an IG account, but as shown again in the previous video, that we're getting very little slippage when using the FBS cent account. So if you then use the FBS cent account, your slippage is highly reduced, or even positive. In that video we actually show positive slippage. And as you've seen before, it's trading the Aussie yen, and we also measure the profits since listed. So the account would trade, do quite well and then list on the service, and we actually only measure that measurement is the measurement of profit since it's listed on the service. So it's done pretty well. In fact, I think that's one of the highest gains since listing. Then the average gain is 45.8% a month. Now just look at that. 45.8% per month means you are doubling your account every 2 months or just over 2 months. Fantastic returns compared to any other alternatives. So Link12 has a really good track record. Now, if we click on here, we'll get more information on Link12, and that's in fact what I'm going to do. This will take us to the FX Blue account. And here we are on the FX Blue account. FX Blue is an analysis service that is provided to traders. They link their account to it, and it then will analyze the account in many, many ways and give you charts and visual presentations of the account. And the first one we see here is the balance on this account. You can see it went up quite strongly in the beginning and then has plateaued off, but it's still going up, but not at the same rate as before. And that is because that's what happens with our traders. What they do is they get started and then they learn how to manage the risk better and better as the account trades on. So although the rate of profits has decreased, because that's a little bit flatter than in the beginning, they become a lot safer to trade. So let's have a look. If I change this chart to, for instance, the equity chart, it will show the equity balances and the balance on the account. The equity balance takes into account open trades. So you can see in the beginning it was battling. It had lots of open trades that brought the equity down, and as it traded on, a lot of drawdowns there, drawdown there, and then a big drawdown there. But since then it has really traded quite well with very minor drawdowns, and that's why I like this account so much. It has had many drawdowns, and you saw on the chart that I showed you previously, there have been some trends in the section, but obviously the settings have been set to deal with those settings, and I'm going to show you the settings as we go through. It has traded the Aussie yen exclusively through the period. It is 189 days old, so just over 6 months. It's made almost 10,000 pips during the trading. Now, a lot of robots can't even get close to that kind of level, but it's made 10,000 pips. The win rate is 67, as we've seen before, and there's the overall return, 182%. At the moment, it has a small open balance. I think there must be 3 orders that are still open. So I go into orders, open orders, and there you can see the orders that are currently open, and it'll take a bit of a while before those resolve themselves. When all of these go to I think it's plus 10 or plus 20, then they will close and restart the normal trading. So that's part of the profit retriever process. As you can see, the balance has grown considerably, and it is using very, very low margin. And that's the advantage of the 200 to 1 leverage. Okay, so let's have a look at some more stats that FX Blue gives. So we go into stats, and the one that I like showing is, for instance, the month. There are no negative months. The week, no negative weeks, always positive. Days, now there are some, I think there's a small negative day, and we can go down and you'll see now and then there's a negative day. Those negative days are mainly as a result of weekend gaps and things like that are uncontrollable. But mostly, as you can see, all days have been positive. Then hours, again, we go down, there's a negative hour there, but on the whole, pretty sturdy. And then day of the week, there again, all positive, except Sunday again. As I say, I suspect that those negatives come from weekend gaps where the prices moved very quickly. And then you can see the direction. As you saw, the chart as a whole was going down. In other words, the sells should have been better than the buys, but if you look at the results, the buys and the sells have made the same profit, and that is what the profit retriever is all about. It doesn't worry about direction. It will make profit no matter what direction you trade. And if you go into this section here, you'll find a whole lot of additional charts that you can use to view this particular account. Now, the other thing I must mention is, and let's go back to the statement as a whole, is that you can download all of this information that I'm showing you now as a printable statement. You click on there and you can actually download the statement for this particular account. You can also export it to Excel to do your own analysis of the trading that's happened. So FX Blue really provides you with all the tools that you can assess risk. Okay, so now I'm going to go to the actual trading account, and as you can see, these are all the transactions that have occurred. Here are the trades that are open. That's that sell, and that sell. And if it goes up again, it'll open another sell. So occasionally it trades with a trend, and for instance down here it was selling all the time, going down here, but sometimes it gets it wrong and it trades against the trend, like up there. So that's how it works, and if it gets it right with the first trade, it cashes in straight away and makes a lot of money with that particular cash in. If it gets it wrong, it gets out as soon as it can at a profit. So that's how this EA works, and you can see it trades a lot. There's a lot of trading that happens here. If I then unfold the information box and we then go into the actual settings, here are the current settings. So as I say, the trader changes the settings from time to time, and here are the settings being used for this particular period. And it's a moving average of 4. That gives the direction in which the moving average points is the direction it will trade on the first trade, and then and once it's established the direction on the first trade, it will stay in that direction even if the moving average changes around. So that's important to understand. Then the gaps, if you see these gaps here, they are 36 pips big. A little bit small. I think if they were 40 it might be less risk, but 36 is clearly what's working there. And then after two open trades it will increase by 4 pips. So it will go 36 and then 40 and then 44 and then 48. So that's a way of controlling risk. So when you get into a trend, the gaps become bigger and bigger, and therefore you don't open as many trades. So that's one way of controlling risk. Then it starts here with lots of 0.4 lots, and then decreases the lots so that they become 80% of the previous one. So 80% of 0.4 is 3.2, and then 80% of that one, and it goes down and down until it reaches 0.02 lots. When it reaches 0.02 lots, it then starts increasing the lots. So it then increases by 130% until it gets back to 0.04. So that's the strategy that's being followed. Very successful. You can see it's doing particularly well, this Link12. And when it gets into trouble, when it has a whole lot of open trades in the wrong direction, it will get out when the total of those trades gets to $10. So when it gets to $10, it says, okay, I'm out. I want to start trading normally again. So that's how the profit retriever works. Here are the settings. If you are using the profit retriever, here are the settings that you can use. In fact, these are pretty close to universal settings for the profit retriever. You can actually trade almost any currency with these settings. The only difference is If you have a more volatile currency, you increase the gap size and you lower the initial trade. That's the only changes you make. If you have a less volatile currency, you would most probably make that 30 pips and that 1.5 pips. So the profit retriever is a very easy EA to trade, and those are the most commonly used ways of controlling risk. The other way that you could do is actually make the gaps increase faster. So you, instead of increasing them by 4 pips every time, you can increase them by 6 pips or something like that. So those are the 3 main ways that you control the profit retriever, and Link12 has done pretty well at doing that. I hope you've enjoyed this review of Link12, and please come to this Link to Success website. We do have a 14-day trial running right now. Here it is right at the bottom of this page. There's a lot of information on this page to go through. Cent accounts to open, there we go, and over here we have start a demo for $1. So we're only asking you for $1 to have a 14-day trial of this linking service, and that will give you a good idea of how much money you can make linking your account to that of successful traders. As always, the links that you will need will be in the description of the video as well as in the first comment of the video. Also, feel free to go in and go to FX Blue and look at the trading statistics in a little bit more detail and at your own pace. So from me, Alex Deploy, cheerio.